Greetings YouTube, welcome back to the channel. This is the normal layout for these videos. And so when I go from having this setup to going straight to, this, it's kind of scary. Too much me. Too much DJ Sour Cream, I get it. But there's an important update that I'm on fire about. That you all, whether or not you realize it, and the really cool thing is the haters have contributed to this just as much as the most kind, loyal subscribers and mods of my channel. After 5, almost 6 years of doing this, I saved basically all of my YouTube funds, if you've missed my other videos, to buy the house that my fiance and her kids are moving into next week. We have been working on it for 9 months. It needed new gas pipes. It needed new appliances. It needed new everything inside the house. And slowly but surely, that's where I've been working toward getting her and her kids ready so that they never have rent again. She wants to pay into equity for the house so that it can truly be our house, and that's an amazing, generous gift that she's been willing to offer. But as far as like the traditional fear of a landlord making sure that you get evicted or something, she's never gonna have to worry about that. That's gonna be her house for the rest of her life until she chooses not to have it. And I couldn't be more excited that I used 15,000 somewhat okay, sometimes good, sometimes spectacularly bad YouTube videos to get my fiance and her kids a house and get them out of what was an income situation where they could not have ever afforded that on their own, because most people can't, even with a spouse for 30 years. And again, the house is paid off going in. There's no mortgage. It's the most special thing I've ever gotten to do until the next special thing I get to do. Now look, I know we live in a world where people want to become rich and famous. They want to be the next Mr. Beast. They want to be the next Taylor Swift. And I'm not saying that those aren't good goals in some ways, but I'm 36 now, and I have enjoyed way more the chance to give back to my hometown and have a life of gratitude than anything I've ever bought for myself. I'm so proud to say that most of the Marvel stuff, including that incredible sign behind me, was gifted, donated, paid for by viewers of this channel. And I look at that set and I think, that is a set where people aren't just saying, hey man, we like that you talk to us on YouTube, but we want you to do something with your life. This is an investment in me as an ability to be a force of good in this world. So here's what I'm doing right now. I'm working on several things. This is the update. 1, I am meeting with my director, academic advisors, university administrators to continue to evolve the social media curriculum that now has an esports certificate where people can go and be on gaming teams and travel for Oklahoma State, but also take gaming classes from like the history of video games to eventually sort of a version of what's called a capstone class in that certificate. And this could also be something that they do in the social media degree itself, where they will be live streaming for a college class and getting grades to broadcast. And everybody's going to be bad. Lord knows, in a lot of ways, I'm still bad. But it's about finding your voice and getting the reps in. It's no different than learning how to train a muscle for a sport that you've never used. So I get to say, thanks to my moderate success on this channel over the last 6 years, that I can write curriculum to help students not be me, be better than me. I always tell my students the same thing I tell my viewers. Like, don't make it a goal to be me. Make it a goal to be much better than me, because you probably will be, and I'll be cheering you on the entire time. That's why I love having haters. I'm like, clearly you hate this channel because you think it's trash compared to what you could do. So just go do it. And then when you are much more successful than me, I'll just say cheers and be thankful and proud of you. That's all life is. Just a relay race of empowering the next generation to be better than the last. With that being said, I have hired the person that wrote a magazine article about me that ended up getting me into grad school, that set the course of my life to become a college professor in the first place. I have hired the person who wrote that magazine article and that feature on me to write a book about how you can go from being a triplet with a single mom who is not properly medicated and in an abusive, poor household, to going to writing YouTube curriculum and giving back to your hometown in the same life, in the same body. That sounds impossible, and yet it hasn't been for me. And I can't process that this is my life because it's way better than I deserve, but I can process it by giving back. That's how I justify the gratitude, because otherwise it's just overwhelming and I feel the ultimate sense of imposter syndrome, to be honest. The book will hopefully come out in the next couple of years, and most of the proceeds, I don't want to say all because then I might actually, you don't want to write a book that ends up helping people and then you get bankrupt for it. And the YouTube money basically from this channel is gone. It's been spent on the house. I'm starting from scratch. But if I start a foundation that people can give, and the older you get, the more the Prof. Hoff Foundation is a whole lot easier for people to donate that are corporations, especially if it's tax deductible. Whereas if I say, hey, donate to my PayPal channel like I would a traditional YouTube channel, it's not tax deductible. So I want to, of course, encourage people to donate so that they know that 100% of foundation donations go to a scholarship fund. I do not keep a penny. And my goal is to raise $100,000 for minimum $4,000 scholarships, which will be awarded by the time that, God willing, these students complete their prereqs for their associate's degree in the local community college in my hometown that also needs a reason to increase its enrollment. So it's helping them. And $1,000 doesn't get you very far now in college. I wish I could say it did, but it could pay for some books. Maybe not for the full year, but definitely at least a semester. And that would be a scholarship that, like I said, 4 students could have a year. Ultimately, if it was $100,000, it's $25,000 increments. And like maybe there'd only be one applicant a year, and then they just get maybe $2,000. I don't know. It's exciting. It's exciting. Everybody seems to watch Aladdin and get excited about being Aladdin and making wishes, but that was never me. I was the kid that was always excited to be the genie. I originally wanted to work for Make-A-Wish because I wanted to help people's wishes come true, and now I get to do that just in a different capacity, helping use education, which saved my life, as a way to motivate people to get out of the cycle of abuse and poverty. And I'm not saying it's going to be a recipe, because life is not a formula, and things will go wrong, and sometimes people will have a scholarship that they can't even renew. But you're going to give people hope. You're going to give people a plan. If you don't have a plan, it's hard to have a path of hope. It sort of feels like you're just wandering through the desert, like sometimes the offers that Kabam puts out, it feels like they just kind of closed their eyes and shook a magic 8-ball, and just the first thing that popped up, they put in an offer. This is not the case here. I'm just a much better person than I was 6 years ago. I'm a much happier person. Israel is largely to thank for that. But the other thing is, I just have confidence that you can be the McDonald's of YouTube. You can make 15,000 videos in 6 years that almost nobody watches, and that you get made fun of constantly, while a core group of supporters support you enough to come to live streams and hit that like button and comment on videos, and sometimes when they can afford it, donate. That little engine that could bought my fiance a house and motivated me to start a foundation to help low-income kids who are struggling to afford rent, and a lot of them in my hometown are homeless, which is what I was in college. Have them have a path to get out of that cycle. And my YouTube career inspired the curriculum, which will inspire the foundation, which will inspire the book, which will then raise the money. And that is the coolest video I've ever made. Thank you for those that listen to this. The foundation isn't set up yet. The book is just being started. This is all down the line in the next 5 years. But mark my words, save this video. Some of this, if not all of this, will be done in 5 years. Because hopefully, if there's one thing that I've proven to everybody on this channel, it's that I'm going to go for it. And if God puts a door in front of you, I'm not going to walk through it. I'm going to sprint through it. And sometimes I'm going to run into a wall and get a concussion. But other times I'm going to run through the door and suddenly see that there's a whole lot of good I can do. And when this curriculum gets written, and when this foundation gets funded, this will last long after I am gone. And that will be the impact I left on this world. And my goal was to leave this world better than when I came into it. And now I have a path. Thank you, YouTube.